Hi, thanks for
Hi.
having me. My pleasure.
It's an absolute delight to welcome you here. And we're really looking forward to getting stuck in and asking you loads of questions. But before we do, how's your week been so far?
Yeah, it's been busy. Thank goodness it's Friday. But yeah, it's student champs week. We're in the deadlines, we're in the finals, we're in the nitty-gritty, the win or lose sort of moments. So it's been pretty chaotic, but it's been fun.
Oh, great. I hope you'll talk about student champs later on
Mhm.
in the talk. That'll be exciting to hear more about. But first things first, could you please walk us through your career trajectory in esports from your early days as a gamer to your current position?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I've always been a gamer. I've always had, a massive passion for playing video games. When I was a kid, I was bullied a lot, and my mum and dad split up, and gaming was my escape and my sort of solace and respite, sort of mental reset, so to say. But eventually, I realized I was quite good at it, so I would pretty much stay up all night most days, just gaming and living a very unhealthy lifestyle. Um, which probably was to the detriment of my career in esports, because I got worse, because you have to do, like everything, you have to do it in, a responsible amount, or else you're gonna have diminishing returns. But from a kid, I was winning competitions in the newspapers in my local town, and then I took a massive break when I sort of started to be a grown up and live a traditional, you get a job and do all those things. And then after I came out as trans, I spent a lot more time back gaming and got the opportunity to represent Northern Ireland at the Commonwealth Games, where I won a gold medal, which is there. um, and from there, it's just been a whirlwind of like my whole career has got flipped upside down. I originally worked for OpenReach as a data analyst, and now I'm a community manager for British Esports. But I did the Commonwealth Games, and then I was doing talks at all schools and colleges and events all across the UK. Even I've flown to America, and then I got to represent Great Britain, which is that medal there, at the European Games last year, where I came second to Italy, which is the first ever Olympic sanctified esports trophy Great Britain's ever got, um,
Mm.
which is awesome. And then I had a short film about my journey in esports win an award at BAFTA in October. And now I am the community manager for British Esports, where I get to give back to the same community that helped push me through this whole career journey.
That's amazing, Emma. Wow, so many awards. I've lost count of the awards that you've got so far, and really exciting to hear about the sort of pivotal moments in your career so far. What was the decision, or what motivated you? Sorry, to pursue a career in competitive gaming. How's the landscape changed for you?
Yeah, it was more of a necessity to myself. So for me, I would have been a lot more comfortable in who I am a lot sooner, and I would have came out a lot sooner if there was a version of me that I could see and that I could feel, seen and represented in gaming and esports. So the thing that sort of stuck with me from the Commonwealth was always like, if I can be the me that I never had to someone else and help them along their journey, then I have to do it. And there was too much pressure on me to not do it from myself. So for me, it was the thoughts that if I can, one, I love this field. I love gaming. I love everything about competitive gaming. I love all the behind the scenes stuff. I love all the community aspect of things and the educational side of stuff. And I like it's just something I'm super passionate about. But also, if I could help other people, women and marginalized genders, were still very much underrepresented in esports. And if I could help change that in any way, then that's all I wanted to do. And thankfully now I am able to do so.
Yeah, that's a really great motivation to, um, as you said, let people know that the gaming industry is inclusive, and I'm so happy that you have got a career in competitive gaming because I'm sure it's pretty hard to get into. Um,
This.
so, in what ways do you believe representation in esports can be enhanced, and what initiatives or strategies have you personally been involved in to promote diversity and inclusion?
Yeah, I think we just need more people to just put themselves out there and just be comfortable being themselves. A lot of the toxicity comes from online gaming where people hide behind a keyboard and think they can say what they want, right? But if everyone starts calling people out on it, then eventually it'll be easier. And it may not seem like much to you, but you standing up for someone online is going to be a
Mm,
huge for that, a huge factor for that person. Um, but in terms of representation, I think we just need more people to put themselves out there, more people to get
mhm,
involved, to feel seen, to feel welcome.
mhm,
Um, there's a lot more women in marginalized genders tournaments. You have the likes of Rat Games who do their Game Changer series. I believe there's one coming for League of Legends. You have the Athena series for Overwatch. There's plenty of opportunities for women in marginalized gender now to get the experience needed to push forward in this field. And we just need more people who actually do it to come forward and be visible and be seen. And I'm not going to use the word role models because I hate being called a role model because I am an immature Missy, as you can see by my background of like plushies and Power Rangers. I like to have fun and I like to cause chaos. And that's the best way I get my message across. But we just need more people to step forward into the light and share their voice and share their opinion and really just be unafraid to be themselves because they know they're accepted. Um, in terms of like what was the word we used? Initiatives. In terms of like
initiatives and strategies,
initiatives,
yeah.
I've been part of women in esports since I was at the Commonwealth. They welcomed me in with open arms, and that was before I even won. And that's Billy and Alice, and that's the EDI wing of British Esports. So it's women in esports. Definitely check us out. BritishEsports.org/WIE. I think it's WIE. If you just go to BritishEsports.org, you'll see the women in esports banner. Just click on that. They are to help promote women and marginalized genders play, feel safe, feel welcome, feel involved in esports. And there's a lot of amazing resources on our website that you can take from as well. I've also worked with the NSPCC in terms of safeguarding and keeping people
Mm,
safe online. We had a
mm,
massive festival just last month. That was a roaring success. It was the first of its kind of safeguarding in esports, and
mm.
I was a vital part of that and helping planning and creating and all sorts of fun content behind the scenes for the NSPCC. I've been part of Fem Gaming, which is an American initiative, Gamers, which is also American, but they're branching more over the UK now. There is honestly, there's so many different initiatives popping up now, and there's Wiggy, there's I'm pretty sure like Lions Creed have a thing now. Guild do a different women's initiative. There's so many, which is so nice to see, and we're all pushing for the same goal, which is ultimately to give us the same experience and the same opportunities to play and compete. And eventually, it will all lead to like a mixed. It's just esports. There's no men's, women. There's no divisions. There's no. It's just whoever's good enough plays. But you
Mhm.
only get to that level of skill by actually competing and playing, and just on a sheer numbers basis at the minute. That's why we need the mixed leagues. But yeah, there's so many. And whatever niche you're in, I'm sure you'll find a community for that.
That's really great to hear. Thanks for letting us know of all the various initiatives as well. But you mentioned it, so it's a good segue about skills. So, as an experienced gamer, what do you think are the most crucial skills and qualities necessary for success in esports?
Adaptability is probably the number one. Gaming does not sit still. There's patches for games every week. There's new seasons. There's new tournaments. There's even new game titles. If you think of like going from Overwatch 1 to 2, there's different changes. If you think about going from CS Source or CSGO to CS2, constant up leagues and Rocket League and different things. So you need to be adaptable. You need to be open minded, willing to learn, willing to put the time in. But you also need to know when you're playing too much because it's the old saying, if you keep doing the same thing, you're never going to improve. So we have a thing called good practice hours. So in competition time, I get maybe about 4 hours a day to do good practice hours, which is full concentration, proper scrims, recording, and then after those 4 hours, we spend the rest of the time watching back and learning and analyzing what I did and what went wrong and what went well and how we can improve. So you need to be open minded, you need to be adaptable, you need to be willing to learn. And you just need to be confident in yourself as well. I think part of the for my job anyway as a professional gamer, and internationally. You need to be comfortable enough to go out on stage, to do interviews, to put yourself forward, talk to a crowd, play up to cameras. I mean, I'm a performing arts kid, so that's not an issue for me. Um, but yeah, you need to be able to put yourself out there. But in terms of actually having a career in esports, there's a whole wealth of different opportunities. So whatever you're passionate about, if you're passionate about gaming as well, you can find that role in esports. So whether it's, the stage design, fashion, makeup, planning, accountancy, uh, literally everything, networking, computers, network repairs, everything you can imagine, there is a job available in esports. It's just as big as production as TV and film, so you can literally do anything and everything now. So you get the same skills all apply.
Amazing. So you talk about being a competitive gamer in the spotlight. So, how do you approach building and maintaining a personal brand in esports? What advice would you offer to young people looking to establish themselves in the industry?
So I'm quite lucky, and my brand is me. So I get to just be me, which is a blessing and a curse because I am a child. Um, No, I'm very unapologetically me. So my whole brand is, yes, I'm Emma. I'm transgender. Get over it, right? Move on. That's where that ends. Now let's talk about everything else. So for me, like, all I had to do was just lean on myself and be comfortable in who I am and what I want to do. And trigger warning for anyone sensitive. I've been in dark places where I thought I shouldn't be here, and no one online is ever going to put me in that place that I put myself. So that's where I sort of get the strength to do what I want to do and be me without worrying about what other people say. But of course, I am human. There's days where what people say online does hurt and does affect me, but most of the times it's fine. Um, for anyone wanting to go out, just find out what you're passionate about and have fun with it and just do it. And people, no matter who you are, whether you're, a boy, a girl, anything in between, it doesn't matter where you're from, people are gonna attack you for it. People are gonna make fun of you and troll you. It's not unique to trans people or the LGBT community or the women. It's a different kettle of fish when it comes to that, but people will make fun, and you just have to sort of just ride it and go with it and be like, okay, you know what? You don't know me. You don't know what I'm doing. You're just a random face on the internet. It happens. People think they can hide and say what they want behind a keyboard. You just have to be able to overcome that and keep pushing through, and don't change who you are for whatever reason. Just have your goals, have your morals, have your plan, be yourself, and just put yourself out there and really focus on what you want to do. And if you want to make content and if you want to have a career in gaming, then do it. Just put yourself out there and don't be worried about what people are going to say.
That's really good advice. Thanks, Emma. So moving on to a couple more questions before we move on to the student Q&A. Please make sure that you are submitting your questions so we can get through to them. Um, I want to ask you about, in your experience, how important is mentorship and community support for aspiring gamers?
Oh, 100%. It's probably, I mean, in esports in general, we live and die on communities. If it's all sponsorship based, and sponsors only come to you if you have a community and you're able to, you know, they're able to bring their product to your community. So without your community, you're nothing. I mean, my community for me has helped me get through some tough times in my life. It's helped me get through some good times, and it's really helped me get to where I am today. So thanks to everyone who is part of my community. But I cannot stress enough how important it is to have good people around you and have that sense of belonging of your community. And it's the same for esports. Without the community, none of us would be here. If nobody watches esports, there is no esports. So
Mm,
the community is just as important, if not more important, than the players and the people behind the scenes. Um, so yeah, definitely like find your community, build your community up, and lean on each other is definitely the most important part of that. What was the second part of the question? Sorry.
so mentorship. Did you get a
Mentorship.
mentor? How would you go about that?
Yeah, and again, that is where you really sort of learn and craft your skills. So for me, for the Commonwealth Games, I was given a coach who was my mentor, basically, and they taught me everything they could about eFootball, all the different intricacies, all the different plays, the meta moves, what to look for, how to play the game at the top level, because they'd represented Ireland at the E World Cup and the E Euros and different things like that. So it was such a game changer having someone look at your gameplay and your skills. It's the same as any aspect of anything.
Mm,
If you have someone looking objectively at what you're doing rather than being invested in doing it at the same time, you're
mm,
going to get such good feedback. And as long as you have an open mind and you're willing to take feedback, you grow substantially. And then when it came to like the European games, I had a mind and wellness coach, and he was a mentor as well. And from a mental health perspective, he made sure that, everything I did was positive for my mental health. If I lost, how do we turn that around, and how do we learn from it, and how do I not like dwell on it and end up, putting myself into a spiral. So yeah, mentors in esports and in gaming, much as the rest of life, are extremely vital and extremely important for growth and safeguarding and, just making sure people are okay.
yeah, that's really interesting, Emma, because when you think about gaming, you think an awful lot about the winning, but you've also got to prepare yourself for the losing just in case. And it's good that you were able to do that, and you
Mhm.
have some tips, for how
But
to.
there's a lot more losers in gaming than there is winners. Only one person or team can win, and if you think about how many people enter,
Absolutely. So it's got to be prepared for that as well. Um, so could you share any resources or programs that have been particularly beneficial to you in terms of career development and skill enhancement within esports?
Mhm. So, I mean, in terms of skills, you want networking. Networking is literally the best thing you can do in esports. Put yourself out there, talk to everyone and anyone. Find out, like, I don't mean just go up to them and be like, "Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a pro gamer. Work with me." Like, go out, find out what they want, find out what they're doing. Be interested in what they're doing, because the only way esports in general grows is by us all working together, and coming together and helping each other. So learn about other people, learn how you can help them, and then also teach them about what you want to do. So networking is definitely one of the huge ones. If you go to britishesports.org, there's a huge resource list as well of all the different stuff we do. Um, I should have been more prepared and had this open, but you can go to our website. There's a lot of stuff we've done. If you go to our there's a resources, education and resources. There's a huge wealth of different things that we do. The NSPCC have worked with us to create their safeguarding event policies, and there is so much information just on esports resources on our website that can really help everyone and anyone.
Amazing. Thank you, Emma. BritishEsports.org, is it?
Hmm.
Wonderful. And before we move on to the student questions that are flooding um, in your opinion, how can educational institutions better prepare students for careers in esports?
So this is the hot debate, right? Is does esports degrees does these that's a terrible English. Do esport degrees help you in jobs? And a lot of people say yes, a lot of people say no. My question is, does any degree guarantee you a job? No, it doesn't. It's about what you do with the degree, and it's about how you use the degree. So it definitely gives you a head start. And if you whatever you study doesn't guarantee you a job or a success in that field, but it gives you a leg up. It gives you a foot in the ladder. It gives you a strong starting point. So that's how I try and get people to look at it. But from an educational standpoint, you can now study esports in school. You can go from school to college to university to higher education. And I think just having that as a pathway and a platform gives so many people the opportunity to learn about what esports actually is, and what career opportunities you have. And it's not all just idiots like me that get to sit and play games. There's a huge wealth of career opportunities. And as I said earlier, there's already, like, esports is bigger than film, music, and TV combined. And we have massive productions and massive industries that need every job you can imagine. So whatever you're passionate about, if your other passion is gaming, we can find a space for you. And I think schools and colleges now teach you that at an early level, that okay, here's all the different parts of esports. You can go down management, you can go down fitness, you can go down nutrition, you can go down stage design, graphics design, networking, as in like computer networking, IP addresses, website design, everything. And the fact that now schools and educations and the likes of Pearson and different things like that have their BTECs for esports is it's so refreshing. I kind of hate it at the same time because I am now too old to go back to school. And I wish I had it whenever I was younger because I would have been my bread and butter. But yeah, it's also just so fantastic to see and to see so many young people getting the opportunity to really dive into what they love, which is gaming, and really sort of carve out their niche and go into whatever career they want.
Absolutely, and hopefully an added bonus is maybe you'd find peers that are also studying at the same time that that could become your friends and learn alongside them. So that's wonderful too. So yeah, we're going to move on now to the student questions that have been pre-submitted and that they're coming in now. So one that was sent in to us. Um, I think you already touched upon it, but it's good to talk about again. How do you handle challenges such as online abuse and maintain a positive environment within the esports community? And what advice would you give to students aspiring to work in this field regarding mental health awareness and resilience?
So the first thing is more generic to everything that I sort of do, and that is counseling and therapy. I mean, you people go to the gym, they work on their muscles, they work on their body, they work on their fitness. Your brain is no different to anything else. I personally get therapy and counseling like regularly, like once a month at least. So I recommend it to anyone and everyone. Whether you think you're super healthy and you don't need it, it's still good to keep talking and keep your brain ticking. Your brain is a muscle just like any other aspect. Again, for me dealing with online, no one's ever going to say anything online that's ever going to put me in a dark place as I put myself. So that's where I get the strength to do it. Obviously, not everyone is going to thankfully been where I've been because no, I don't want anyone to be there. But I think lean on your community, lean on your friends, your colleagues. If you need advice, reach out to people. My DMs are always open. I'm always here to help people. If they're going through a hard time, and if I can, I will signpost you to somewhere who can. Professional. I'm not a professional by any means. Um, in terms of like mental health and abuse. But if you could take any part of my story to help you get through what you're going through, then you're welcome to have my story, and then that's why we share it, right? But I think you just have to remember that these people online who are being hateful and who are trying to put you down don't know who you are. You're probably never going to meet them, and then that if you did meet them, they're definitely never going to say anything like that in real life. So you just have to be comfortable in yourself and confident in yourself to put yourself out there and to do what you want to do. Because if you let someone else put you off that, then they're going to win. And let's be real, we're talking about gaming and esports here, and everyone wants to win. So don't let them do it. Just be yourself and ignore them.
Don't let them do it. I love
Yeah.
that. Don't let them do it. Thanks, Emma. So we've got some really nice and specific questions coming in. So, is it helpful to do a video game specific course at uni versus a broader computer science course?
Depends what you want after it, right? If you want to have a career in gaming and esports, then yeah, I would say it would. I did computer science at uni, and it's helped me. But again, I'm a massive nerd, so I built my own PC, I built my own keyboards, my own peripherals, I set up my own setup. Like I am a nerd at heart. So for me, computer science was logical. I went from performing arts to computer science, big jump. Um, but I think it really depends what range you wanna filter down to, if that makes sense. It depends what you want your career to be afterwards. If you want a career in the gaming and esports industry, yes, do a gaming and esports course. You will be able to there'll be overlapping modules. It's not all just about gaming. You'll have marketing, you'll have business, you'll have so many different modules. So just do some research into the course that you want, and if the modules that you're gonna be learning tick the boxes that you want to learn, then go for it. It all comes down to the individual, really, and there's no one answer that fits everyone. It's not if you
Mm.
want to what you want to do has to be reflected in the course that you're studying for it to be beneficial. So if you see stuff you like in the gaming thing, do that. If you see stuff you prefer and you think, "I still wanna go into gaming, but I gonna get more background from a computer science degree," go into that and then do gaming on the side. There's no right or wrong answer to that one. It all really comes down to the personal experience.
Great, thanks for that. So Northumberland College, thank you for all your questions. First one I'll ask you, Emma, is what does a typical day look like for you in your role?
No idea. It's different on a daily basis. So at the minute, I sort of fly over to Sunderland, which is where British Esports is based, in the NEPC, the National Esports Performance Campus. So I fly over there pretty much every other week. Um, so if I'm there, it's in the office doing social media, doing community management on a Monday. Wednesdays and Thursdays is student champs, so I'm helping run all the background of student champs, dealing with issues, queries, roster changes, map changes, updates, and social media stuff on top of that. And that's Wednesdays and Thursdays. Fridays is talks and planning for the week ahead. But then when it comes down to competition time, it's sort of Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday, should I say, of very structured routine and training and analyzing and practice and rehearsing. And yeah, my day-to-day basis is never the same at any time.
Well, that makes it fun, doesn't it? And we were talking before, and you just mentioned it now. Your role includes a lot of travel, a lot of flying around.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm in England twice a month, in Sunderland, and then events on top of that. So if I'm at a school or college, I'll fly over there, go down there. I mean, next week I'm going to Belfast Met, to talk about my journey again with their girls in tech summer school, or I can't remember the quite name of it, but it's changed a few variations. But it's a girls' summer school or Easter school, shall we say? So yeah, I travel a lot. I get to see a lot of the world. I've been to America, I've been to Poland, Spain, everywhere. I know
Lovely.
that's three places, but there's a lot more than three
Well,
places.
it's definitely traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, so I've got a specific question here for you. How many benefits are there to doing esports to someone who wants to do or is a streamer?
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap. So I think a lot of what you want to do as a creator and a streamer and what you want to do as a gamer are very much aligned to the same sort of thing. It's all about building that community and that progress. The only difference will come down to, instead of what you would do for training in a competitive game, you gotta learn and how do you make your content better? How do you make your stream better? It's less about how good you are at a certain game, but more how entertaining and how catchy your content is. I would definitely still recommend doing it if that's what you want to do. Because a lot of the modules, again, a lot of what you learn overlaps. It's a lot of transferable skills. So marketing and business for esports you can apply to your personal self, your personal brand, um, networking, computer science. You have to be able to work your computer, to run your computer, to build programs and make the best out of your live stream to be able to stand out from anyone else. So
Mm,
I definitely think there's a lot of transferable parts that you can learn from an esports and gaming course.
mm, absolutely. Um, so Northumberland College would like to know what is the best platform to use to start a career within streaming and gaming?
There's again, there's no right or wrong answer to this one. It's whatever you are comfortable with. So start off, go on them all, just spread it all out there. Twitch is the main one that everyone seems to use. And then, you can stream on Facebook, you can stream on Instagram, TikTok. There's no right or wrong answer. You just got to find the platform that suits for you and that your community that you're trying to build is going to be on. Parts of that community will be spread across all the platforms. But you may only find certain people in certain areas, so it's just trial and error. You just have to go for it. I would recommend putting them all out there, having your brand, making sure your brand is synchronized across all platforms, and then see which platform responds well to the best part of which content, and then grow from that. And if shorts only works on TikToks, don't worry about posting shorts everywhere else. Just do your shorts on TikTok or YouTube, or even you can do stories now on Twitch. So find where you're getting the best interaction, the best value for your time, and focus on that area. But to start with, just go out everywhere. It's going to be a bit of trial
Mm.
and error for a while, until you really sort of find your niche.
Yeah, that's interesting. Definitely try and error. And how would you advise people that want to go into gaming to not feel perhaps disheartened if it's not, picking up quickly?
Yeah, I mean, this comes down to why you do it, right? If you're doing it because you want to make money, you're going to be disappointed. Um, if that's your only goal in life, there's other jobs that are much more achievable, and you get you know clear guidelines on how you earn so much. Whereas gaming, it can be a bit of luck. But if you're passionate about it and you love it, then that's all that really matters. You're not doing it for the money. You're not doing it. You're doing it because you enjoy it. So if you enjoy what you do, you're not going to get that disappointment that, oh, I only had 5 people watch me yesterday. Did you have fun? Did you enjoy what you were doing? Was it beneficial to you? Then that doesn't matter about the views. So as long as you're doing it for the right reason, just remember the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's good advice. Thank you. Um, what are some emerging trends or technologies in esports that excite you?
Uh, I don't know. That's a tricky question. I am like, as a community manager, I'm the worst for trends. I need to be a lot more on top of my trends. I think AI is obviously AI, and AR as well are super cool, and I'm quite excited to see what we can do in that sort of alternate reality for esports. I know Hado does a bit at the minute, but I'm excited to see how much further we can push that, and how accessible we can make that to people. But I mean, esports is, in terms of a global power, is still relatively new, even though it's been around since like Quake in the 1990s and maybe earlier, but it's still relatively new. So I think every day is just it's just a joy to see so many new people come into esports and take part in esports, and new players pop up, like the 17-year-old wonder kid from Counter Strike who absolutely slayed out the last major. No one had heard of him before. It's so good to see.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm sure AI is having a real impact on the industry. Um, and in your opinion, what games do you think are the easiest and the hardest to get into?
Um, So no game's hard to get into. It depends on what level you're talking about. If you want to, like, if you're a school or a college and you're wanting to start esports as a college or as a course or as a club, Rocket League's the easiest one. It's a free game. It's 3v3. It's PEGI rated. There's 13, so it's super easy and it's super accessible for everyone. But it really just depends on what you want to like. Play the game you love. Like that don't play a game because it's easy and because you think you'll have a good chance to make it there. Play a game that you're passionate about and that you enjoy playing, because that
Mhm.
way you're going to put your all into it. If you don't enjoy the game you're playing and you want to go pro in that game, why? Like, just because it's easy, that like someone who enjoys it is gonna get there quicker than someone who's just doing
Mm.
it because it's easy. And you can always tell when people are doing it. So like, find whatever game you're passionate about and go for that one.
Yeah, that's good because it will kind of come across in the way you play if you're passionate about it.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm glad someone's asked this. What's your favorite game?
I don't actually like. So the worst part about being a professional gamer is you never have time to play games. I'm playing a lot of TFT at the minute, which is a League of Legends mod. The Inkborn Fable set just came out yesterday or the day before, so it's quite fun. I like to stay on top of TFT. eFootball, I mean, that's what I'm professional at. I was signed to play the new EAFC until my team went bust. We'll not talk about that. But yeah, I think TFT, I mean, Counter Strike is always going to hold a special place in my heart because that's what I originally started in. So I was originally an FPS girl. So yeah, Counter Strike and TFT are my current favorite games.
Wonderful. You've got your current favorite games and uh, you know, the games that, bring back nostalgia and things like that. Um, but yeah, so I suppose to move on to kind of more um, questions around careers, is this a growth area of the job market? And what are the salaries like in this area? Are they competitive?
Again, it really depends where you're based. If you're based in London, your salary is going to be London salary. If you're based further down south in England, you're based in Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, it's all different compared to where you're based. So the salaries are definitely very good. They're very livable on. They're very, comfortably livable on. But you have to. I mean, there's so many people wanting that job, wanting that spot that it's hyper competitive. So
Mm.
it's definitely 100% worthwhile. Esports is only going to get bigger and better as it becomes more mainstream. I always describe it as the biggest secret club, the worst kept secret club, because once you know about it, it's huge, it's massive, it's this absolute Goliath that's makes more money than the music industry, the film industry, and the TV industry combined. Um, and once that becomes mainstream, it's only going to keep growing and growing.
Oh, that's great to hear. Just a couple more questions before we finish our talk. So, moving away from competitive gaming, Riverside College said some of our students are into games design and development. What would be the best way for them to start their career?
Yeah, do a games design course for sure. You'll meet loads of people like-minded with you. That was again terrible English. You'll meet loads of people who share the same passion as you and who are interested in what you're interested in. And together you can go off and make games and you can make your own indie company with people and go from there. I'm on the board for Out Making Games, which is a queer game devs community. So there's a lot of resources at OMG. If you just look up Out Making Games. Um, Study hard, make games you're passionate about, and network. That's the best I can say for that. I'm not a games developer myself, but I am part of the board with ONG, and I do know a lot of game devs, and I've worked a lot with them, especially in Belfast, the indie game dev group in Eagle Labs. Um, yeah, just again find what you're passionate about and make that and put your all into it and find people who are also passionate about it and team up and share and create together because when you create together it's a better community, a better experience, and not everyone thinks the same way. So you're going to have different opinions come in, and yeah, you'll make a far more well thought round, beautiful product.
That's really good advice. And Riverside College, just want to say, great talk and insight into esports. So
Thanks.
thanks, Riverside College. So I guess it's time for our final thoughts, really. So to wrap up, do you have any kind of closing comments you want to give to our young people tuning in today?
Yeah, just I've said it quite a few times now. If you want a career in esports, gaming, or anything, just find what it is that you're passionate about and go down that route. Don't A lot of people just come to me and ask me if I can help them get a job in esports. So whenever I ask them specifically what kind of job are you after, just like anything in esports, don't do that. Find what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about esports, what part of esports are you passionate about? So find out what it is you want to do, where you feel you can make the most difference, where you feel that you're not going to be bored or you'll get the most back yourself, and pursue that avenue. And don't be afraid to reach out to people already doing it and ask for advice because that's literally how you get 90% of the way in esports is reaching out and talking to other people. So find the niche that you want to go down that niche and ask for help along the way.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Emma, for your time. It's been absolutely wonderful to hear from you.